everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing the mono green Landfall deck because a new couple cards came out that I really wanted to try out in a deck like this that can also help take over the game by themselves. Of course, we have kind of the all-star staples in like Badgermole, Cub, Landwar Elves. We always talk about how this is just good enough on its own. Maybe we could be playing Ouroboros in this list, but I did not necessarily want to jam it because I wanted to make space for some new cards, and it felt just fine to do it. But we're playing Michelangelo, weirdness to 11. So when this enters, we make a mutagen token, which we can sacrifice for 1 mana and then put a 1/1 counter on a creature. It just does it automatically, which works well with this because this doubles the number of 1/1 counters that gets applied to a creature. So obviously that works with the Chocobo. It doesn't necessarily give our Earthbender Ascension an extra counter on it, but once this is online, giving things 2 counters. Also with the Mossborn Hydra, not as good with this Hydra because let's say it's at 4, we pump it to 8. Michelangelo's only going to put that to 9, which does matter a bit because then that jumps to 18 instead of 16, which can make the difference between a win or not, especially with how many shock lands are legal in the format. Other than that, we're playing the Leatherhead Swamp Stalker. This has trample. Whenever it enters, we put a hexproof counter on her. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a counter from her and destroy target artifact enchantment that player controls. Instead, we're going to hop into the games. All right, well, we go first here, which isn't the worst. We can do some pretty sweet stuff, especially if our stuff lives. We can go Forest and the Landwar Elves into Badgermole Cub on our Fable Passage, and then crack Fable Passage to get an extra land. They're probably going to play a Landwar Elf, I would assume. There you go. Felt like that wasn't that hard of a decision, but yeah, fair enough. Go ahead and get this out of the way. I love this interaction, by the way. I think it's so sweet. Then we can play here, pop this, grow, play this, grow. Just so good. Oh wait, we actually even have more mana, right? So I have what, 1 2 3 4 5-ish. Okay, what can I do here? So I feel like it's play Hydra no matter what. Yeah, so we play Hydra. We brutal. I'm gonna miss out on a land here anyway, I think. Let's play Forest. Go Michelangelo. Crack a Forest. Or crack for a Forest. I'll need to put it here. I think I want to put it on my Cub. And for 4. Tell them to solve this equation. We play land. This will go to 11. And then we'll crack and they'll go to a billion. 20, 23. It only gives it 1 extra counter. But it matters a bit, I guess. Try to fight it. But they have 6 mana. Go play another Cub. Increase that mana by a bit. Because 2 would make this become 4. If I say, actually, I think it's just neutral. No. Becomes 3, 6, 7. Yeah. Weird game. Mono green against mono green and standard DeckTech. Not something I figured I would be prepared to be doing. Paul patch. That's not enough. Obviously this Hydra is going to be huge. What do you even do? Again, deals combat damage to player, remove a counter from her when you do destroy target artifact enchantment. Sure. Okay. Sure. Well, they're ready to hoof, I think. Oh, wow. All right. Well. Go Earthbender's Ascension. Oh, maybe they have a protection spell. I guess Earthbend here. You'll see a cool thing here with the Earth End. It'll actually get an extra counter because it'll come in as a 0-1. Mossborn going up to 11 here, I believe. Yep. Play here. Go up to 23. Crack. Go up to 47. Nice. Just this one. Really sucks because I would like to play my Chocobo. I just don't think that's correct. I think it's play the Cub here. I find an untapped land maybe. No. Go ahead and get this out of the way. Now I can go like Hydra into Crack into like maybe play something like this. We'd obviously need a land. Need to answer that, that's for sure. But yeah, it's definitely no messing around here. It's play Hydra, play Chocobo, play land, put some counters on some stuff. Just grow our board. Pass it up. Then we can go Earthbender's Ascension. This will get us a land. There's obviously a couple of other things we could find that would be really good here. Michelangelo might not even be that bad. Railway Brawler is now castable for free. Or we just rip the best card, hands down, not close. Here, play. I mean, our Mossborn Hydra is going to do 1,000,000 here. They only have a red and a green available, so 16, 32. I love the Hydra, brother. It is so good. I feel like we have to maul that hand. Just doesn't really got a lot going for it. Keep. They're the only card I can't cast away. Not sitting on like a Landwar Elf or anything, so. Oh boy. Alright, hold. Probably won't, but you know, we can try our best. Update, you're not holding, bro. Maybe they messed up and discarded land. Here. Oh, see Daisy. Could bounce this creature to my hand. But I think Flood Maul is like non-land permanent, I believe, on it. See a Cub? Sure. Oh, that's so good though. I just play this and hope they ran out of removal, even though it's so unlikely. I think I have to. Again, we just talked about not playing around anything, and they've used 2 of these to get it done, and they're obviously really expensive, so. Okay. So we'll go here. Alright, so they have a bounce spell. That kind of sucks. At least it feels like a bounce spell. It could be an opt, I guess. Combat. Sure. I guess. My turn is now ended. Hold the line. This is an elemental, by the way. Oh man, it's so funny. Do they have nothing now? It is very possible that they have absolutely nothing. They didn't read the card. They're like, oh, well, maybe I'm just dead. All right, this is a keep. It's so weird because I keep ripping the Landwar Elf, but I think it's here Urban Ascension and try to start cooking it up so I can give a ton of stuff counters that'll make up for not playing this on 1. Right? Especially with this. Yeah, Earthbender's Ascension is such a good card. It's 3 mana, go get a land, and then just gives you value over time. Here. Here. No! Sheriff has been shot. Reminder, Deadly Cover Up would clear us here, by the way. They can exile your forest, which takes them all out. So we do kind of have to get the game closed by then. Or there's something else entirely, and I'm not sure what they are. 2 mana. This feels uncounterable. The gate, I guess. Pay 2. Easiest pay 2 in my career. Here. Now we can go for this, maybe. We do need, like, a Fable Passage or something. Tapping this? I'm gonna feel a lot less like graveyard nonsense. This has menace I could draw, I guess. I think that's what they're going for. This just gets kind of shellacked, brother.
My eyes are as sharp as my sword.
You have a lot of answers here. Okay. I feel better knowing that I don't think Deadly Cover-Up's coming in. Holy cow, wait. Can I kill them here? I actually don't know. Let's put counter here, I guess. Land. So double this guy here. 10, not enough, huh? Did I mess that up somehow? Maybe I did. I'm not sure. Maybe just like playing this was a mistake. I don't know. Or maybe not just hard casting it. I'm not letting free draw there. Also doesn't remove this.
Just try to keep up.
Empty hand. 2 blockers. Here. Could have played this guy out, I guess, but I'm not sure it matters. I'm not sure it matters. So they're at 8. They go to 9. I mean, just on trample damage alone with 2 mana, we assume they can kill 1. So let's just assume this guy for now is dead. They... Wow, Well, they have to block here. It blocks the most damage, and then they block, I guess, here because that blocks the most damage, and then they take 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they still lose. Okay. All right, opponent first, sure. Okay, goblins, Rakdos goblins, I would assume. Weird that we're gonna have to play Battle Mole Cub into Michelangelo. Maybe not weird, but a little weird. Maybe our Landware Elves is just cooked. Oh, they were okay. Fair enough. Goblins, huh? I don't know if I was ever ready for that matchup. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. Here. Also had Menace. I don't know why they didn't attack with it to increase their speed. I guess the best part of this card, start the engine, increase the speed right away. But we only have 2 lands, so Escape Tunnel is the better one to play. We have 5 mana, though. Honestly, it might just be... Well, okay. We have less than 5, so they deal 2 here. Sure. Yeah, no way I block here. Bossing Say allows me to play Ice Toe. Or this, I guess. Seems pretty good in general. And then I could play like Fable Passage after I play Ice Toe and kind of go that route. Which would mean this will probably kill a player, I assume. Attack for 1. Because when a lane control enters, double the power. No. Alright, Chocobo. Land. Harmonizer. Still got a counter first, and it's got Summoning Sickness, so let's just do Michelangelo for now. Pop this. Have a forest. Double here again. Let's play I Still Explore. Play this. Don't reveal our last card in hand. Honestly, I want them to be kind of forced to block this guy, so I think I'm going to... I know this seems a bit over in on this card, but I think I have to be. $16 there for lethal on that. Then crack this to go to 5 or 6 here, and then swing for lethal. They have to block here, and I get a free 6 on them with the better creature of the 2. And now I just have too good of a board. Obviously, they missed a couple lands, but we'll take that win every day. Oh, good hand. Good hand. Good hand. Good hand. Good hand. Bonk. Bonk, 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 bonk. How many people need bonked before the bonking's been bonked, you know? Cub for the Badger. Big old 1. If this lives, we're obviously way better off, but our hand still works without it living, though. Will they do something? They are in a weird spot. This would be the time to do it while I'm tapped out. If I have protection, they obviously have to worry about, but we know we don't play any. We yam this guy. We play a land. What are they going to do here? Okay, they go for Deceit here. We're gonna look at my hand. They're only gonna get one of the Michelangelos, cause I can't imagine they're taking Landware Elves. We're gonna yam this guy. Gonna go to 3, which is nice. Obviously, a fetch land of some type would be sick. Here. Grow. Landware Elves. Here. 7. I know this is already kind of a target, but if they're looking at like deceit or something like that, then it becomes a weird-ish target because they can obviously answer it, but if it's a bounce effect, I can just play it again. You don't know what this is, which is also one reason maybe not to like do it. Here's a bounce. Sure. So, is it not just better to like here? Here? Put in a 3. So something like a shock land is just really bad. I'm gonna do this again. That obviously doesn't win though, because they can bounce and make me discard, but they actually, it could win. Combat. Sure. Okay, we got there. Nice. That would have been a pretty crazy hand, but we win that game. And with that, I think we're just going to call it there. All right, so to talk about the list a little bit, I'm redoing the outro because I just started talking in circles and it didn't really matter what I was saying. But there's a couple of cards that I don't necessarily think I like too much, and I think this Promising Vein is one of them. I already swapped it for another Escape Tunnel. I understand that this can tap for a mana, but I think most of the time I want to sacrifice it almost no matter what anyway. And then that one game where I had it in my hand and I had to pay one to crack it and I really couldn't do that. I'd rather play my stuff. Just kind of sucks. I know this does work really well with Badger Mole Cub, but so doesn't every other crack land like one of these two. So this one just felt worse. I would probably still even replace this last one. And best of one, these 4 or 8, I guess, should be good enough on their own that you can just not necessarily have to worry about it. There's a lot of lands here too. As you can tell, we're on 26. That's quite a bit, even for having like fetch land kind of things in the deck. But with that said, Michelangelo was very good. I actually like this card a lot. I think it's kind of, I almost said self-planned, but the ability to grow itself with the mutagen to put it at 3, but also works really well with a Chocobo, for example. So if we have a weird turn where we go like Landware Elf, Badger Mole Cub into this, I know I say weird turn and I talk about a cracked turn instead, but that happened today. I think these are really good because you can play Chocobo after all that, and then it'll just get a ton of value regardless of what happens because of this card. If we have this card in hand or in play and then we play an Escape Tunnel, this goes to 4, and we don't actually miss playing it on turn 1, where you kind of have that confliction if you have both the Landware Elves and a Chocobo. And honestly, if I have a Landware Elves, I typically lean into the Hydra play over the Chocobo because this card has Trample and is obviously a bit better when it comes to that. But overall, cards I'm not necessarily impressed with, kind of because I didn't really see them, was this one here. And no, it has Trample and it has Hexproof counter on her. When it deals combat damage, you remove 1, you destroy target artifact or enchantment player controls. That does affect all these if you're under like some artifact exile. But I don't know how much I really liked it, but I could imagine that the Hexproof is really good. And if you have like maybe an Earthbender's Ascension in play, and you play this, you put in a land, you put a counter on it, you play another land, puts a counter on it, and then you've established this on the next turn, and you play a fetch land that can put 2 counters on this, putting it up to, or put a counter on it, putting it up to 7 or 6, and then it's now 6/5 with hexproof. You can remove that counter to do its ability, or if you get something weird where you can kind of set in like a Michelangelo with that as well, then you know that does go to 7. When we play another land later, that goes to now 9, and then potentially to 11, and it's just going to accelerate very quickly. And having hexproof is obviously very, very good, and Nowhere to Run can't answer this by itself because it does start with 4 toughness, so that is also very nice. A card, so this I would probably drop 1, to be honest, and maybe go up a Hydra, because a Hydra just unanswered is incredible. But also the Might form felt a bit weirder to me. It was a little less kind of good in our hands than I would have liked it to be, but I only played a very few amount, so that obviously could be the reason for that. But overall, it felt fine. The deck felt good. I would definitely start off with maybe 1 of these, maybe 2 of them, but I do think that this guy is very good, and I only play 3 because he's legendary, and obviously that kind of applies a lot, especially if he grows pretty quickly and he's just not answerable against like maybe a red deck or something like that. He is just going to be a very nice card. Maybe playing a card I did look up, an Innkeeper's Talent in here would be nice. Put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control. So if it is something where, I don't know, we go Landwar Elves, play this, well, like maybe we play like a Chocobo, we play land, put a counter on it, play Michelangelo, and then we look to play an Innkeeper's Talent, upgrading it. This will then get a counter on it. We cracked Mutagenic Growth, or Mutagen token onto this. It gets a counter, goes to 3. This now puts another counter on it, maybe goes to 5, or maybe we put it on Landwar Elves, putting that to 3. It just gets really, really kind of out of control, and I could definitely see maybe playing this over something like a copy of this and this, because again, we are in best of 1, so some of these cards can be a bit bad. So a card I would recommend here would maybe be like put an Innkeeper or 2 in, move 1 of these out and 1 of these out, and try it like that. Just because again, we want to pop off with this, we want it to be a bit later, and then I would probably cut that and go like this. So maybe add more Innkeepers, maybe not. Maybe the Hydra as a 3 of is just a bit too much for that kind of mana cost. But I do like being a bit thicker in the 2 drops to make sure I always have something to do on 1 and 2. And we really only ever need 1 of these online in best of 1 to probably be good. And if we have multiple copies and we can't play them, it's going to be very bad. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.